17.5% on fuel bills has been lost because 7 Tories voted for the opposition.
So how's he getting the VAT back then? What's he put it on?
He put it on spirits.
Spirits?
Yeah. In this week's budget, he put it on spirits.
Yeah.
And I think it was...
Fags?
Fags it was it?
Mm-hmm.
Fags, wasn't it?
Yeah. They haven't put it on papers and newspapers or magazines yet, have they?
But there's a sort of special tax that some of us pay. But I'm dead safe tonight. Everybody's lovely, and the only thing that happens is vicars going out for walks on sunny days. And good for them.
Yeah.
No offence to vicars or sunny days. Good budget. Good budget.
And nobody's been buggering anyone, you're absolutely certain of that, yeah?
Sorry, what?
I've never seen Ian quite so silent.
You've never seen him quite so poor, either.
Go on, have some money.
No, this is sad.
Come on, get his hat.
Money.
No, I couldn't possibly, thank you.
He needs every penny. It is a shock defeat for the government over VAT on fuel. After the vote, one MP said, John Major looked just like his spitting image caricature, awful and totally colourless. And more to the point, with 15 rebel backbenchers doing to him what the puppeteer traditionally does to his puppet. Our old friend Teddy Taylor abstained from the vote, no doubt too busy listening to Bob Marley on his Sony Walkman. Ian and Jack, lo and behold.
Moses, it's topical, saying,
Yep.
I'm going to go for a shave, you coming? They're all
Going for a shave,
they're all going
obviously.
to Barbara's in Oxford. So it's that thing that happened this week in the place it was happening, where it was happening at the time it happened. And it was reported by people who were interested in it, and it became an item on the news, I understand you call it.
It's obviously right, but it's not the answer.
This is outing bishops.
Bishop's outing.
Is that Peter Tatchell in the purple,
Peter Tatchell
purple
wearing
hood?
the hood, saying
has to go around and-
you're all outed.
No, it's the other thing that happened.
Right. It's the Bible,
The
then.
Bible, the PC,
Bible?
there's a PC Bible thing that's
Are you
coming
just
out.
going to go through every sort of religion? Right. It is actually the Bible, yes. Could you form a sentence in order to...
Can we not do sentence jokes, please? This is a politically correct Bible that the Oxford University Press have come up with in order to sell it to the Americans, who can't read words like God the Father, because it's very upsetting. So it has to be translated into an American. Right. So God the Father or Mother. Or single parent.
The mom.
Or foster parents. Mm-hmm. It's true, the whole Bible's been turned into gibberish by various PC lunatics. Sorry. By a lot of quite responsible people, actually, working for OUP, who've got a point of view, and who am I to criticise it?
It is the new politically correct Bible published by the Oxford University Press. Outgo references to people being blind or crippled. That rather takes the edge off one or two miracles. Jesus waved his hand, and lo, the perfectly healthy man got up and walked. Some Christians now firmly believe that God has a female side. According to the World Council of Churches, God has existed since the beginning of time and is to be found in women. Sounds more like Bill Wyman than God. Paul and Moray, some rough justice for you.
Rough justice, right. Oh, this is the man who got fined for shooting up an allotment door. And he happened to be on the other side, not him, the bloke before. Nice flowers.
It's a judge. What a good bloke.
And there's 2 sort of security guards, invisible to the general public, protecting that man as he walks down the street.
Or not. Yes.
He got fined £4,000, didn't he, for shooting somebody through his allotment door. He was coming into burgle his allotment door.
He was actually after the door, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He was apparently 1/3 to blame for the incident, and the burglar was 2/3 to blame.
Yeah. He got the blame... in the path of the bullets, he was blamed for the first third. And then the burglar was blamed for the last 2/3.
Yes, it is.
But it wasn't a fine, was it? It was compensation.
So there's a sort of fine distinction between fines and compensations, is there, Ian?
Ted Newbury's name was?
It was. Astonishing. What was the burglar's name?
Mark Revell.
Good God.
How about the two security guys? Yeah.
Alf and George.
He was actually awarded £11,000 for loss of earnings, that burglar, so he must have been a very good burglar. It's the £4,000 compensation that a judge ordered 82-year-old Ted Newbury to pay burglar Mark Revell for accidentally wounding him with a shotgun fired through his shed door. The court heard that he was an old man and his judgment was clouded by age, so it was hardly surprising he acted so stupidly. Well, he shouldn't be a judge, then.
I think that's rather unfair.
After the hearing, burglar Mark Revell said, "He shot at me from a few feet away. I know everyone has sympathy for the old man, but what about me?" No, don't think so. Ian and Jack, hands up, if you know this one.
Tony Blair seeing what it's like to win something, I suppose.
That's a school. That's Cliff Richard.
She loved it.
This is Tony Blair, who's in trouble about trying to choose a good school for his son. Because traditionally in the Labour Party, you don't put your politics ahead of your own children. You put them ahead of everyone else's children. Anyway, this time he's sent him to Brompton Oratory School, which is a Catholic school, and it's about 10 miles away from where he lives.
Oh, that's local, though, isn't it?
It's a nearby state school, which happens to have opted out.
Yeah. It's the nearest posh good one.
It's the nearest posh Catholic good school.
He was in the news for something else this week. I know you haven't had a lot of time to read papers this week, but did you know something?
I read The Sun, Angus, just seeing if they got any old stories in there.
And did they?
No.
£60 haircut.
That's right.
What, Angus had?
No, Tony Blair.
Tony Blair. Was it a nearby hairdresser's?
No, it was an opted-out.
Opted-out hairdresser's.
It is the controversial decision by Labour leader Tony Blair to send his son 8 miles across London to a Thatcherite opt-out school. Margot Dunn of Highbury Grove School, Blair's local comprehensive, said, "Quite frankly, I've been kicked in the teeth." So just a normal day teaching 3C. Which, School for Scandal, means that this opening round is dismissed and the marks are such that neither Ian or Jack nor Paul and Murray need to see me afterwards because both of them have a commendable 4. Coming up soon, round 4, preceded by round 3, which immediately follows round 2, which is prefaced by a preview of our capturing competition. Ian and Jack, look at this. Paul and Murray, look here. Round 2 is how we traditionally refer to our second round, and for a topical quiz show, what could be more appropriate than a round on ancestral heraldry? 1 coat of arms per team, each recently commissioned. So, Ian and Jack, can you deduce whose this is?
It's Captain Birdseye. And Kenneth Clark, by the looks of things. In disguise. No, it's... he's
in a wig?
In a wig? Well, wouldn't that be a handy thing to have about our... It's the Kililauro team. The Kililauro crew who cherish their own freedom.
Their motto being, women and children after me.
Thatcher's.
It's Mrs. Thatcher's.
Mrs. Thatcher's, yes.
Baroness.
Baroness. I'm terribly sorry.
It's a Falklands...
bloke. And
bloke.
It's a crown, she thinks she's the queen.
And that's Sir Isaac Newton, because she got a science degree.
No, it's not Sir Isaac Newton. That's the 17th century predecessor of a milkman. It was known as the sugar lump man. And he'd come round your house if you wanted sugar lumps. You see there, those little containers there. He used the street cry of London, sugar lumps ahoy! Would you like tea, Sir Jasper? I've no sugar lumps. Never mind, the sugar lump man's coming round in a minute. You'd hear these sugar lumps rattling up the drive.
Why did she choose the sugar lump man to appear on her crest then?
Well, she thought the other figure looked so stupid she might as well balance it up a bit. She chose
that.
Newton because he was born within 7 miles of her and they had a shared interest in chemistry.
I'd stick to the sugar lump man.
A lot of people did in those days.
Yeah, I bet
Hygiene's not what it is today, you know. You could smell the sugar lump man coming up the street. What's that smell? Oh, it must be the Taken Wild Gardener. I don't know what I'm talking about.
he's gone.
I have.
Yes, it is. It is...
It's not the sugar lump, man.
It is the coat of arms unveiled last month of Baroness Thatcher of Kesteven. Paul and Murray, work this one out.
No, that's a heraldry thing.
Yeah.
Well done,
what have we got
yes.
there? We've got a football, we've got a piano, we've got the colours of Watford Football Club, we've got some records.
But after that?
After that, and is it Howard Macmillan? We've got the first 4 letters down there spell Elton.
Well, 5, but there won't be a
5,
but,
5, Elton.
There's Bueno.
There's that figure at the top of the football is wearing a very bad hairpiece. So it's Ben Elton then.
What's he eating?
Or Elton John.
He's playing panpipes.
Ah, he's not eating. I thought it was a sandwich.
Could be a sandwich.
Could be a blue sandwich. Get blue bread in Watford.
Could be a blue napkin.
Exactly, yes, and the sandwich contained within.
It could be one of those small blue boxes of mushrooms that you just upended and you're just eating it like that.
So it's definitely something blue. I think we've established that. It's a blue thing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know why it's blue? I'll give you 100 points if you can tell me.
Yes.
That song? No.
Blue. Oh, yeah, blue. Blue eyes. Baby's got blue eyes.
I hope you don't get it right, because the scoreboard actually can't go above 99.
I guess that's why they call it the Blues.
No, it's because his first band was called Bluesology.
Ology.
You knew, damn.
I didn't know.
Dangerously close. Thank God I told you before you told me.
So who are we talking about?
He's a
Elton John.
popular music singer.
Yeah.
He's been to the High Court once or twice. I didn't bump into him.
He usually comes out
Different doors.
Other recently commissioned coats of arms include Cliff Richard's, Harry Seacombe's, and this one belonging to the Duchess of York. Fergie chose the B because they're the epitome of hard work. Yes, they're also round, poisonous, and airborne throughout summer months. All of which symbolic nonsense proclaims the end of this round, and a quick glance at the scoreboard shows that both teams are hesitating to make the first move. Ian and Jack and Paul and Murray firmly wedded to 6. So, with no points in it, anything could happen and probably won't. But anyway, let's welcome our famous odd one out round. 4 solvent individuals. Which one's the editor of Private Eye? Paul, your 4 sex symbols are Nigel Short, Mark Little, Mrs. Gro Harlem Brundtland, and the Grim Reaper.
Who's she?
The President of Norway.
President of Norway.
Can I have a point, please?
Oh, all right. As you seem to have lost so much this week.
Has anything to do with chess? The
well, Nigel Short is, yeah.
Nigel Short and the Grim Reaper played chess at the end of an Ingmar Bergman film called The Seventh Seal. Mark Little probably was he was probably a bit of a chess champion when he was younger in Australia before he went into comedy and Neighbours and stuff, and so she's the only one. She doesn't like chess at all. She's tried to ban it. She's the odd one out.
I can't remember a time when you've been more wrong, Paul. Any idea, Ian?
Yeah. Only one of them is an etching.
Is the woman at the bottom the only one who's been on a plane and the seat's stuck to her back and she's left and no one's had the nerve to tell her? Any clues?
One of them's got an earring.
I could give you a clue that Ian has actually got the right odd one out, which is the Grim Reaper, but neither of you got the answer yet. So I might just have to wake the viewers up.
They've all been
by
in
telling
Neighbours.
them... Neighbours?
Yeah, they've all been in Neighbours.
The Grim Reaper was not in Neighbours.
How about
Allow me to know.
Nigel Short, right? Then Mark Little. Yeah. And, like, is Brundtland Norwegian for tiny?
I don't have a Norwegian dictionary on me, unfortunately. I'm going to have to tell you. The answer is that all of them have received death threats, except, of course, for the Grim Reaper, who tidies up afterwards. A Russian opponent's dad threatened to stab chess star Nigel Short with a knife. Short spent 8 hours considering all the options and kneed him diagonally in the groin. Murray, here are your friendly faces: Spike Milligan, Cliff Richard, Salman Rushdie, and a tiger.
No etching, so I'm a bit confused. Spike Milligan's the only one who's called Prince Charles a grovelling bastard this week.
I think I know the answer to this.
Oh dear.
I think Spike Milligan was born in India.
Yeah.
Got you from with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We may.
Cliff Richard was born in
play some
India. That
incidental
tiger, I
music?
know for a fact, was born in India.
Right.
And Salman Rushdie, oddly enough, wasn't.
So
That's
Salman
the
Rushdie,
tiger.
you're saying is the odd one
Tigers,
out?
Cliff was.
The tiger's the odd one out.
Why?
Because the tiger wasn't born in India.
It's from China.
How do you know?
That one, can you tell?
Well, you're on the right lines, actually. Yes, it is the tiger, because all the others were born in India. The tiger was actually from Siberia.
Siberia.
Sorry, you're sulking now.
Near China.
It was, in fact, a Siberian tiger, which is an endangered species. Most Siberian tigers now live in captivity, like in London Zoo, where they exist on a finely balanced diet of care in the community patients. Jack, your celebrity squares are the Duchess of York, Michael Jackson, Sylvester Stallone, and the Aymara tribespeople of the Bolivian Altiplano.
That's a bit arrogant, calling himself the tribe's people, isn't it? I mean, he's just him and his llama.
It's...
Strictly, he's the tribe's person,
Yes.
isn't he?
Are the,
And he's-
are the Bolivian people the only people in the whole group there who lag their boilers for the winter?
It's a llama thing, because he's got a llama there, and Michael Jackson is a good personal friend of a llama that lives with him.
Take that back.
And Fergie, Stallone acts as well as a llama, and Fergie's been to Tibet recently, where the Dalai Lama lives. So Stallone likes llamas as well, so...
He's got a llama, has he?
Yeah, he's got one, and so's Jackson, and so's the tribe's people of place, and she hasn't. She just looks a little like one.
is the right answer. Yes, help yourself. It is that all of them own a llama or llamas, with the exception of Fergie. The Duchess of York doesn't own a llama, although she was once kissed by one in Toronto. Apparently it wasn't a pleasant experience to be nuzzled by a huge hairy face and rasping tongue, but the llama soon recovered. And finally, Ian, your cross-channel mix is Prince Michael of Kent, Eric Cantona, Etienne Gerard, and Roger the Butler.
Does sound a bit like a party game at a boring country house weekend, doesn't
Yes.
it? Let's finish the show. Let's Roger the Butler.
Is it about being French? Eric Cantona is French. And Etienne Gerard is French.
Got to be French, isn't he?
Name like that.
Or Belgian.
Or Belgian. Or Walloon. Roger the Butler's real name is Roger le Butler.
I don't think it's that.
Let's give us a
it's
point.
occurred to me
Can't have 'em.
that at least two people there are holding something that's French. The butler's holding a bottle of Moray Chandon. Eric Cantona is clearly holding something that's French. So if that horse is French, it's got to be that bugger up at the top.
Is it horses?
Is it horses? Yes.
Do I get a point then for
gonna
something? That's quite a clever answer. He got a point for naming that broad who's the Norwegian Prime Minister. La Lula, whatever her bloody name was.
Both
Is that a
sexist
death threat,
and racist in one remark.
Exactly.
Well,
The who's called La La
what's
Lula.
racist about that? It's a perfectly better name than the one she's landed. But no, they've rubbish, that name of hers.
It's a name.
Well, it doesn't stop it being rubbish, does it?
Unlike the eminently sensible Paul Merton.
Yeah, it's easy to pronounce. It's not la, is it?
Her name wasn't La 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 La.
Well, if it was, at least it'd be a popular tune and you could hum it. I don't know how she ever got voted in the first place. It probably takes half up the bloody coupon trying to fill her name out.
You were about to give us a horsey answer, I gather.
Well, Etienne Gerard is presumably Brigadier Gerard. who was a horse before he was this man.
I think
He's
it was
gone,
the other
he's
way
gone.
round.
It was the other way round, sorry. It was an Arthur Conan Doyle story.
It was.
Brigadier Gerard. And there's a horse called Prince Michael of Kent.
Yeah, and there's a horse called Holding Me Knob in the shower.
And so the odd one out, therefore,
Is Eric Cantona, because there aren't any horses called Eric Cantona.
or so you thought. I'll give you one, because you got the right reason, but the wrong odd one out. Is that all of them have had a horse named after them, except for Prince Michael of Kent, who's had a llama named after him. The horse...
You mentioned that woman's name again just then.
Rohalem Brundtland. was the name.
Blah, blah, blah. That's all I can hear every time you say the name. Blah, blah, blah.
You can imagine her at home. Palmerton. What a stupid name, Palmerton. I'll tell you something.
If that woman wants a funny name contest, I'll take her on any day.
Does this go out in Norway?
No.
In about 10 years'
yet,
time.
Anyway.
On Sky.
But now, now Ian has added their Prime Minister to his list of impersonations. Who knows? Back in the 70s, Brigadier Gerard was a racehorse so famous that he used to travel all around the country in his horse box opening supermarkets. Little did he know he would later return to those same supermarkets in slightly smaller containers. Which innocent horseplay brings us thundering to the end of this round, and limping badly are Paul and Murray with 8, whilst Ian and Jack are nosing ahead with 12.
Hey.
Time now to round off the evening with the flurry of ignorance traditionally associated with our final missing words round. This week's guest publication, apiarists everywhere will be delighted to know, is Bee World, the international link between beekeeping science and practice. So, Paul and Murray, you're not in the lead at the moment. So, drugs police urged to keep what?
Quiet.
Is it 10% for CID Christmas party?
Ethnic score is the answer. Next, Jackson to what on quiet?
Is it bugger toddlers?
No, Paul, it's not.
Yeah, he's
Delighted to know.
he's going to
Dump
divorce
wife
Lisa
is
Marie. isn't
how
he?
they phrased it beautifully. Next, women told Tory party is what?
Upstairs waiting for them?
It's great. It's grateful, isn't it? It's a
For
very
you
popular
is
sport.
the answer.
For you,
after-
yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
And lastly, tripe lovers resist what?
Bees.
Bees is not the right answer, but thank you
Llamas.
for saying so. Llamas is also
Is it new
incorrect.
honey strain of tripe?
blow by Brussels bureaucrats. Right, Ian and Jack. Lloyd Webber on what?
Heat.
Drip. It's a latogen.
No, it's actually on drip, although he's better now, so we're not mocking the afflicted. Next... Well, we are, obviously, but not afflicted in that way. Next, Bear Ladies protest puts end to what?
Crinkly bottom.
In what way?
Well, it's a story at Morecambe. There's an area of Morecambe that's a pleasure beach, or an area called Bear, B-E-R-E, and Noel Edmonds opened up a new Crinkly Bottom sort of leisure land there about 4 months ago, but they complained to residents because the kids were too noisy, so it's closed down.
It's
after
always
3 months.
irritating when it gets it quite so right.
You had a lot on this week.
No, I didn't have to get up early in the morning or shave or put a tie on or anything like that.
Next, Super Goats are tackling what?
Is it better than Tony Adams, claims Arsenal boss?
Bees.
Also not the answer.
Llamas.
Llamas.
World wool shortage is the answer that we were never going to get. And finally, gamma radiation affects what? Hello?
I was just wondering whether to say juries, but bees.
Honey, which competitive rudeness brings us to the end of tonight's pantomime, and the tragic news, for them at least, is that this week's Ugly Sisters are Ian and Jack with 13, while this week's Principal Boys are Paul and Murray with 15.
Can I
Sir.
just say how nice it is to lose again this week?
So, $250,000 in damages to our winners, costs to our losers. Not the first time Ian's heard those words this week. But before we shut up shop for the night, it's time for a final peek at our caption competition. Ian and Jack.
Someone saying, it's only a computer virus, you idiot.
You are.
Thank you. Paul and Murray, remember this?
Be careful, because in a photograph it might look as if you're grabbing my balls.
Spike Milligan said, pass this on.
It's okay, you only have to bow.
Is it the bloke behind saying, hurry up, I'm next?
On which penal note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Jack Docherty, Paul Merton and Murray Hunter, and I leave you with news of a triumph abroad as John Major celebrates the fact that for the first time in his life he's worked something out before someone else. After his mother is spotted approaching the back door of his house, fears are expressed that Paul Merson may not yet have kicked his drug habit. And there are rumours that Paul Gascoigne's weight may still be a problem as he boards the Lazio team coach. Good night.
The teams assemble for another few rounds next Saturday on BBC Two at the earlier time of 8:05. The new book, Have I Got News For You, is available now from bookshops.